welcome to the Altogether Beautiful podcast. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Liz.
Yay, Liz. So today is our first day.
Yay!
And I'm so excited.
Finally, we're here.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a lot to just unpack today before we get started next week. So you want to tell them who's coming on next week?
We're so excited.
Yep.
We're still figuring out our technology, y'all. It has been a journey. It's like
oh my gosh.
two women in technology
Yes.
and all of the things. But anyway, next week we're really excited because a part of our heart for this podcast is to bring really practical things to the table and bring help to women, specifically women. If you're a man listening, that's awesome. Welcome.
Yeah.
But a lot of this is probably not for you. So a lot of it is aimed towards women, towards mothers. There's going to be a lot of topics. We've talked about a lot of topics that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
But specifically next week is mental health. And so we have a friend, her name is Shiloh. She does counseling and a lot of mental health therapies and things like that. And so she's going to talk about depression, anxiety, so many things. And so we're really excited to have her on just to talk practically about how to have mental health.
So just be looking out next week. Don't skip out on us just yet with our first week. But I wanted to say Liz was not able to be a part of episode 0, but this has been long awaited. We've talked about it for a really long time. But the Lord has also orchestrated it over a long, probably a year, over a year. He's put it on our hearts for that long. And it just kind of fell into this rhythm. But Liz is somebody, if you are from season 1, she is somebody that I talked about often. She's a good friend of mine. We've been friends for several years now, and she's also really helped me in my faith in a lot of ways and just encouraged me, and I just love her to death. So I'm excited that she gets to be a part of it with me. But Liz, do you want to tell them about yourself a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for it. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. Obviously, my name is Liz.
Yeah.
I have a husband. His name is Jeff. Hunky man. And so we've been married, it'll be 10 years this next year, which is so crazy. So at this point it's 9. But we've been married 9 years. We have 3 kids, Bentley, Tucker, and Rayma. I always say Bent, Tuck, and Ray. It's like the stop, drop, and roll of our family. Didn't plan that, but here we are.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's what you say when you need all the attention. So my oldest is in 2nd grade, Tucker is in pre-K, and Rayma Joy is at home with me. So it's been really fun, though. I had a summer with them. Some of you may know, some of you may not. I worked for pretty much all of motherhood, at this point. Mm-hmm. I worked at a church for 7 years, Traders Point Christian Church. Absolutely loved it. Incredible house, an incredible church. I was the worship director there for 7 years. My position changed a little bit over the years, but I stepped away back in the end of May to do ministry with Jeff and to do ministry as a family, and it has been so incredible. We have a ministry here downtown Indianapolis called 420 Ministries. We launched as a church back in January, and so we're an actual church now, which is really exciting and
crazy.
Beautiful. I know, it's so funny because we said that we'd never be a church. We were like, we're a ministry, and we're a ministry for the nations, and all this stuff. We're like, we'll never be a church.
And the Lord said,
like,
not
today. Let's launch a church. And we're like, don't ever tell the Lord you won't do something, because then He'll say, hey, here's this thing that I want you to do, this exact thing that you said no to. So we've got a church downtown Indianapolis in Hallville right now. I love our lighting, man.
Oh my gosh.
So we launched back in January, and we meet on Thursday nights. And so it's been a really fun summer, though, to be at home with my kids, to focus on the family, because I really haven't ever had that before. And honestly, it's been so weird because as the boys have gone back to school, this past week has been crazy. I know for you too, the past couple weeks, school started, all the things. But I miss them. And it's not that I've never missed my kids, because when Jeff and I would go away or things like that, but during a normal day, I was so used to being away from them that I didn't miss them when they were at school. But now I'm like, when are you going to be home? I actually miss my kids now, and it's so great. So anyway, I am a stay-at-home mom now / doing ministry and leading a church with Jeffrey. And so I'm just really excited to get to chat a little bit and get to talk about the Lord and faith and everything in between, health. I mean, you and I both, we love health and what that means. And so I was raised in a Christian home, and so faith is important to me. I know faith is something we will weave into all of this, and a very biblical worldview of a lot of the things that we talk about. I was raised in a Christian home, raised in a Bible-believing household. My mom actually worked in the church. She retired a few years ago, so she did women's ministry for years and years. And so that was something I said no to. I was like, oh, I'm not going to work in the church, and then I did for 7 years. So it's so funny. That was what I said.
Another thing.
Another story for another day. But anyway, I was raised to follow the Lord, and it was probably not until Jeff and I got married that I feel like I truly started following the Lord. Yeah. There's so much that you learn as a child, and I'm so thankful for like a foundation, but I don't feel like I really
created a relationship, a personal relationship with him until then.
Yes, okay. It was like, let me read some scripture and check it off my box. Yeah. But actually experiencing the presence of Jesus and actually sitting with him and actually hearing his voice and actually partnering with the Holy Spirit and actually walking in what does it mean to actually be in relationship and enjoying the gospel and enjoying who he is. So I feel like that really started happening in probably my early 20s. And so it's been a fun ride the past, honestly, 10 years of Jeff and I being married, that really understanding what it looks like to truly walk out my faith and live in relationship. And so that's another thing. I'm just excited to talk testimonies and everything as we get going. So what do you feel like the Lord is teaching you right now? Ooh, yes. Honestly, this summer I feel the most free that I have felt in a really long time, and I think that the Lord is teaching me freedom right now and how to be free even in relationship with him, because there's so many things that I didn't even realize I was in bondage in that now I'm looking at thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't even know that I wasn't free. Yeah. And how often do we do that? We walk around and we're like, yes, I'm so free. And then you get in a situation, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know how unfree I actually was. And so even in my time with him, there's freedom in even that. There's freedom in how I interact with the Lord every day. There's freedom in my giftings. There's freedom in motherhood. There's freedom even in sickness. I know you and I have talked about that before. I didn't even realize how much anxiety I was walking in around getting a cold or getting sick or things like that.
Because you would have to sing on the weekend.
Exactly. Yeah. My job revolved around singing, and so I would get anxious about losing my voice, which I kind of have right now. I lost my voice this week, but it's even been fun to walk through even the smallest things like that with the Lord, where he's drawing me in and saying, hey, there's freedom in this. You don't have to worry about these things. You don't have to carry anxiety about these things. And freedom in motherhood of even just enjoying my kids again, and just enjoying it. So I don't know. And even in leading worship, the past couple of weeks at church with 420, it's just been so fun to walk in freedom again. I took some time off this summer to just kind of breathe. And getting back into it, I didn't realize how unfree I was in even my worship. And so it's just been really fun. Freedom, I feel like, is the
biggest thing.
Word.
Yeah. And just to create some relatability for people who are struggling right now, is there anything that you're finding hard in this season that you're really relying on the Lord for?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I feel like I am in the most unseen season of my life. Yeah. And that I feel like we've even talked about that. Of just, I've really had to get really real and raw with the Lord of how much, there's so much that I'm learning right now that I didn't realize. I have so much more awareness now, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm walking in so much more awareness of where I'm at, where I feel like I was almost blinded to or thought I knew.
Yeah.
So I thought I knew how to only have the approval from the Lord and not approval of man. But it took being in a season where I was so hidden to actually realize, oh yeah, no, Liz, like you did not. Like you did not have that figured out at all. Like you actually were relying on the praise of man to get you by, or like the encouragement or the affirmation. Because I mean, where I was, it was amazing because I had constant feedback. I feel like anybody in a workplace can relate to that. You're presenting a thing and someone is saying either good job, not good job, here's feedback, here's how to get better. And in motherhood or just being at home, you're hidden in this place of like, nobody's going to come and say, hey, you did the dishes really well today. Man, the way you vacuum that rug, I've never seen you clean a rug. Like, nobody's going to do that. And, like, God bless husbands and, like, people who can come around you and say, hey, I appreciate you. And that's really good. But it's almost not that same thing. And so I've really had to learn in the hard season of being hidden of how to only rely on the Lord and how to learn that again of, like, okay, Lord, even if nobody sees me today, even if I am so hidden, I know that you see me and I know that you are delighted in me, that you are proud of me. And it's hard because that's not like he's not looking you in the, he's not a physical person. He is, Jesus is a man, but it's just hard. And so if you're in an unseen season right now, I see you. But also the Lord sees you above anything else. And it's a hard thing to learn, but it's really good. So
yeah. That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So if you are like a returning person, you probably know who I am. But if you are a new follower because of Liz, or if you're just a new follower in general, I am Rachel. And I have been married for 8 years. I have 2 little girls, and they are 4 and almost 3. And you forgot, what are the ages of your kids really quick?
Bentley is 7, Tucker is 4, Rayma is 18 months.
Yeah. So before I continue, going back to the like you working thing.
Yes.
It's been 8 years or more. Yeah. As far as like a working mom goes, you've been working for 8 years.
Until I started working when Bentley was, I don't know, 9, 10 months. So pretty much all of motherhood. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, my girls are 4 and 2, almost 3. And I've stayed home most of like motherhood. I have worked on and off, but it's mostly been part-time when I have worked. Just a couple of days a week, usually no more than like 14 to 16 hours, somewhere around there. So I've done the completely stay-at-home life, and I've done a little bit of work, but not full-time. So we have a good balance here with the 2 of us, I feel like. Yeah. But anyway, 2 little girls, and as far as I go to Antioch Indy right now, and I love it, and I also grew up in a Christian home, and I was brought into the church like as a newborn and grew up in the church, and my parents are both really amazing and have taught me so much, and not only taught me so much, but like been an example of Jesus. Like they've truly loved me like Jesus would, and I think that's like super important. But anyway, so same thing as you, I didn't really come into like relationship with the Lord, I feel like, until probably after I got married. It was probably maybe a year or 2 into marriage before I really started to create a relationship with the Lord. So, and it's truly life-changing. Like, it takes it from religion to something so much more effortless and just
like
enjoyable.
Black and white, and then you see color.
Yes, exactly. you see the joy in actually being in a relationship with the Lord, like why people actually enjoy being a Christian.
Yes, yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of my background, and I don't know what else to say other than that.
That's all I have to say about that.
But yeah, I mean, the podcast I actually started with another friend. Her name's Taylor. We did that like, I don't even remember what year, 21.
Yeah.
So it was the beginning of 2021, and we did it for a few months, and then just felt like the Lord was calling us away from it for a while. And then my other friend who was doing it with me, who I love and adore and have all the appreciation in the world for, we both love her.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
She's in full support of the two of us doing this together now. And she even suggested you when she stepped away. So she stepped away last June, and it's kind of just been sitting on the back burner. Like, I've known that I wanted to come back to this. Like, I love it, and I knew I wanted to do it, but I just didn't know how to make it work.
Yeah.
And I even tried doing it by myself for a little while, and it was just not fun. It was not good.
It's so funny too, because I remember when y'all decided to take that break, and you were trying to figure it out, and I remember knowing in my mind my time was about to be
coming
done
to an
at
end.
Trader's Point. And in my head, I was like, man, that would be so fun to do that. But I didn't say anything because I was like, Lord, I want her to come to, like, if that is what it is, I want her to ask me. And then I remember when you came to me, and I was like, yes. So it's so funny how the Lord kind of orchestrated all of that.
Yeah, that's so
even
true.
With Taylor and with you, just all of the things. It was just like cool.
Yeah, and even like when Taylor and I started doing it, I remember her husband gave her the idea to do it, and I would hear him saying that to her, and I was like, ooh, I think I would love to do a podcast. That sounds kind of fun. And she's like, no, I would never do that. And then like a month later, she was like, do you want to do a podcast with me? And I was like, yes. So anyway, that's where we are now. This is how we made it here. But anyway, okay, so we want to do like a segment with you guys. We're going to do it's called Kicks and Giggles.
Before we go to Kicks and Giggles, though, what's the Lord teaching you right now, Rachel?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So.
Which is such a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're listening, ask yourself that every day.
Yeah.
Like, I think asking myself that is such a good reflection
in
general. But even like asking other people that, it's such a good, I don't know, it just takes you to a place of reflection and actually like thinking about, oh yeah, like what is the Lord? Because he's always teaching or showing something. So just in general, that's just a good question to ask people. I don't know. So we'll probably talk about that often on the show as we get into it, and as we have these episodes where it's just Rachel and I talking and just us talking about here's what the Lord's doing right now, or here's the kind of day we had this week, any kind of stuff like that. It's probably a lot of what the Lord's teaching us right now, and what he is revealing and showing and correcting and challenging. So
so what the Lord is teaching me right now is probably just like one, dependency on him for anything and everything. Like literally everything. Just how when you think that you have control over something, you don't. So there's no way you can control your life. Like, just being dependent on the Lord for his goodness to you, and just praying for yourself and for your family and just circumstances, like just praying and trusting the Lord in it. And also just loving unconditionally. Like, it's amazing the power of loving somebody when if you're in a fight with somebody, the best way to put it out is to like cover it in love. Like, just say you're sorry, come into agreement with it, and just accept it, and know that when it happens, like, it'll come back around. The Lord will be your defender. So even if it's not true, just trying to love the person the best that you can in that moment. So, like, love is probably one of the things the Lord is teaching me right now, is just, like, loving unconditionally. And what is that? Outdo each other in love, like outdo one another in love. Yeah. I think that's so true. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I'm at.
It's just like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like even having kids and just the selflessness in general is really hard, but selfless love is it's so simple, honestly. Yeah. But why we overcomplicate it and make it so hard, it's because it's hard, but it's a really hard thing to do. So
especially like in a moment where you might want to just be like, no, that's not what I did or said.
I'm like, no, if I know something is not right, I'm like, I know. Whoa. Man, Jesus, he's such a good example.
He is. So that's probably what the Lord is teaching me right now.
That's so
so we'll probably do that, if not every episode, pretty often, just like, what is the Lord teaching you this week? Because I feel like maybe it speaks to somebody who's listening, and maybe it creates like a hey, me too kind of a moment, you know? Yeah. So,
and you can walk away and ask yourself the same question. Of what is the Lord teaching me today? And just sit in reflection. And even if it feels like he's not teaching you anything, then it can take you to the place of sitting with him and actually asking him to. Because I think 9 times out of 10 when I'm in a season where I'm like, I don't feel like he's teaching me anything, it's because I haven't been sitting with him. Yeah. And it's because I haven't been like pursuing that place of open-hearted, open hands. Lord, correct me, teach me, search me and know me. And so it even could push you to the place of, I know there are days when I feel like I'm like, well, haven't heard you in 17 months.
Yes.
And that's so it's 9 times out of 10, it's because I haven't been vulnerable or open enough to sit with him and like open my heart to it. So,
yeah. I think something else that somebody said to me recently, going back to that, like, that's really like sunk, like I'm trying to like soak in it, is like asking the Lord, what is too heavy for me that it'll crush me and I need to hand over to him, and what is my responsibility? Like, what role do I play in this, and what do I need to give to you? And I mean, truthfully, I feel like the majority of the time it is just hand me everything and rest in me and let me just love you and just be love. So anyway,
picking up everything we don't need to. Story of my life. Pick up everything. He's like, why are you carrying that? Put it down. And I'm like, no, I need to. It's like, silly Liz.
Oh my gosh.
His yoke is easy and his burden is light, y'all.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we're gonna go into kicks and giggles.
Kicks and gigs, y'all.
Okay, so we kind of just want it to be like a moment where we just share whatever moment from our life, whether it's good, bad, funny, sad, whatever it is, just kicks and giggles, you know?
Yeah, because there are so many moments. I know we've both talked about this. Like, there are moments, especially I felt like when I worked on the way, because I had kind of a commute. I would be in the car for like 20 minutes, and I was like, I don't want to listen to music. I don't like want to sit in silence. I just want to listen to like somebody just like chatting. And so there would be moments where it's like we're just talking about motherhood. Both of our kids are insane. Like our kids are at the ages where they say some hilarious stuff. And so there's just going to be moments of kicks and giggles where we can just like share even the real moments of life. And so I'm excited about this. If you just need to turn on something where it's just you don't feel alone. And you just feel like you're sitting with girlfriends across the table and just sharing stories or sharing something that happened to you this week. I think loneliness is a huge part of, I feel like women can get really lonely, especially in your upper 20s, 30s, like when you don't have the friendships, when you don't have the person to just go and like kick back with.
Yeah.
There will be moments in the podcast where you can just kick back with us and feel like you're just sitting at a table with your coffee, talking about life.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And something too that like, this is, if you listened to the last season, this might seem like totally different than last season.
Yeah.
We got like a whole new like vision for this season. And part of it is like, I listen to a different podcast. It's like a mom podcast, and they're just two moms that talk about life. And I was like, wow, I love listening to this when I'm like doing the dishes or something, because it makes me feel like I'm with my girlfriends. So that's kind of like another piece of this that like came into play when we were doing this. But like we love the health, the fitness, like we love mental health, like kids stuff. So we're going to try and bring in guests to just make that exciting and fun. But
we want you to get something from it. But on the days that you just need to chat, we're here too.
Yeah. Okay, so kicks and giggles. What's your kicks and giggles moment?
Oh my gosh, you have to go first, because I feel like my life has been so boring this week. I'm like, I have been so busy, and there are going to be some great moments down the road.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of, I don't know why, but there's just some, I feel like I always can get in my, Rachel knows this, but I go to a workout class on Monday morning.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Some Mondays.
I love these stories, by the way.
Old Nance. I call her Old Nance. She's like, man.
Old Nance, if you're out there, we love you.
If you're out there, Nance.
You give us so much joy.
Oh, we should invite Nance on the show. She'd be so fun. But it's a group class, and it's just like a conditioning class. But Nance is like, I mean, I don't want to get it wrong, but she's probably like, she's in her 60s.
Yeah.
If not close to 70. She is a boss. And when you walk into Nance's class, like, I know the people that haven't been there before because they have like 15-pound weights. And I'm like, yo, you don't know Nance. Nance is about to make you do arms for 20 minutes, and you need a 3-pound weight right now. And so there's lots of Nance stories. Susan, there's an old lady named Suze that goes to the class, and she's recently had knee surgery, and she's squatting for the first time, which if you see her squat, I'm like, yo, Susie, I know why your knees are bad, because you need to keep that above your ankle or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So there'll be some Nance stories along the way, but I did not go to class this week. So trying to get my workouts in.
What was it that Tucker said to you the other day that was really cute?
Oh my goodness. He's precious all the time. I know, he said something in the car.
It was the Legos thing. That's what I'm thinking of.
The Legos. I'll have to think about it.
On the first day of school, when they were in the car and you guys were on your way, and he asked about the Legos.
Oh, if he was gonna play Legos?
Yeah.
Gosh,
you gotta use his
Legos. Legos. He is precious. Like, I've never seen him go to school. Like, he's never gone to school ever, and so it's his first week going to school. And he, if you know Tucker, he speaks Tuckish. Like, if any of you are listening and you know my son, you know he doesn't speak English. He sounds like a minion half the time. We're working on it. But he was so cute every day. Like, in the car going to school, he would ask like what they're gonna do today. And Bentley,
Bentley's older.
Yes. And so Bentley goes to school, and so he was asking Bentley, and he was like, do I get to play Legos at school? He says, school. And so it was precious. But every day I ask him about friends, and I'm like, did you play with friends today? And he's like, yes. And then I say, what are their names? And he goes, I forget. I'm like, okay, so sweet, cute. Good. Yeah.
I love it.
He's crazy.
He's so cute.
He is wild. He's the one that pooped and wiped with my shower curtain.
There you
like,
go.
yeah. He's my second born. If there's anybody with a second born, you can relate. Yeah. It's crazy.
Okay. So my kicks and giggles moment, it's kind of a 2-for-1 today.
Ooh.
So,
hey, watch out.
Last week we were at my in-laws, and they have these like massive mushrooms in the front yard. They're actually pretty looking, but the girls were like looking at them. And then today I pulled up to drop off my youngest while I was here, and I opened the door, and she was like, Mom, where's the muffins? And I was like, muffins? What? Where are the muffins?
I love it.
And I was like, oh, are you talking about the mushrooms? Because he had mowed the grass and
They
mowed
were
them
all
down.
gone.
Yeah, but it was really cute. Where are the muffins?
If only they were blueberry muffins. Shoot.
Yeah, for real.
That'd be nice.
And then, so the other moment was I was getting ready to pull out of their driveway, but I was sitting there for a minute, and they were outside with her, and they came up to my car, and I rolled down the window, and his mom was like, say what you just said. And she like wouldn't say it, and they were like, she said, go away. Because I wasn't leaving. I was like, okay, fine.
Nothing says I love you, Mom. Like, can you leave?
Can you leave? Like, get out of here.
I love it.
Man. So anyway.
Shout out to the grandparents.
Yeah, for
Man,
real.
My kids love their every day.
Yes. Yes.
Can we go to Nona and Papa's?
Yeah, they're not
Can we
content
Mom
at
Papa's?
home.
I
They just
know.
want to go to Nanny and Papa's or me, Mom and Papa's and just be there all day.
Love them to death.
Anyway. So
Crazy.
that's our kicks and giggles.
Love it.
I guess that's it for today. But
Yes, we're
don't
so
forget.
excited.
Yes, don't forget to go subscribe on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. And we are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
So go follow us on there for any updates or anything like that as well. And we'll be back next week with Shiloh.
Yes.
For mental health.
And if there's any topics that you guys want us to cover, we've already got like a list of so many people and so many professions and that we are reaching out to and hoping to get on here. But if there's specific topics that you're like, man, I would really love to hear somebody talk about that, let us know. Because we want this to be something that you can get something from, or something that you can walk away with a little bit more knowledge. And so if there's anything that you want to know about, let us know. And when we get certain topics, we'll probably get on Instagram and do a little question box where you can submit some questions for some people. And so even if you have questions around a certain topic, I know there's some moms with homeschooling that we're going to talk to. And so I know homeschooling is a big topic right now, especially with mothers. And so if there are specific questions with that, or health and fitness and all that stuff. So,
Yep. And we may at some point have somebody on for like interior design.
Yes.
So, just be thinking about questions that you might want us to ask them, and be watching, like I said, follow us on Instagram, because we will put that box up so that you can ask your questions and have them answered. So
lots of interaction on Instagram.
Yes.
And ability to interact back and forth.
Yeah, and you'll probably get more out of like what the podcast is by following us versus just listening once a week. But that's it for today.
We're excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And
it's
going to be a fun ride.
It is. I'm excited. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.